And then BET itself turned 45. So, yes, overdue for me.
Of course.
It's been a minute since I've been able to step out.
It was pure, real performance. And I hate to be like that, but it was like you still have your performance, but it leveled up.
Mia was forever banned from BET's 106 and Park, one of the hottest stages in urban music. And the reason shocked fans.
With being an independent artist, you have the freedom to create as many projects as you want. You can surprise your fans without clearance from anyone.
Once a daily destination for the latest videos, interviews, and exclusive performances, 106 and Park was where careers were made or stalled.
And brightest stars, Whitney Houston, Lady Gaga, Drake, Kendrick, and so many more mouth droppers.
Behind the lights and applause, artists like Mia faced obstacles that threatened their rise.
So what's your next project? And it's going to be on your own label, or are you looking to go back to a major?
This video uncovers the controversies behind her ban, the ripple effects on her career, and what it reveals about the music industry's hidden politics. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Mia was one of R&B's brightest young stars. Her debut album, Mia, 1998, quickly achieved platinum status, and her follow-up, Fear of Flying, 2000, featured hits like Case of the X and Best of Me. These songs dominated the airwaves, music charts, and video countdowns. Fans adored her smooth vocals, dance skills, and confident persona, making her a frequent feature on urban music platforms, including BT.
How do you feel being here, BT, 25-year anniversary at awards?
Full circle moment for me because I got my start at BET in Washington, D.C. Teen Summit 1997.
Whoa.
Right? History.
Jesus Christ.
106 and Park, BT's flagship music video countdown show, was at the heart of hip-hop and R&B culture during this era. Artists relied on the show for exposure, interviews, and live performances. Being in heavy rotation on 106 and Park could make a song a hit overnight, while limited appearances could slow momentum. Despite her mainstream success, Mia's relationship with the show reportedly became strained. According to Wikipedia entries and YouTube interviews from industry insiders, Mia's outspoken personality and commitment to managing her career independently sometimes clashed with BET executives. She was not afraid to voice her opinions about programming choices, show format, and artist treatment, something uncommon at the time for young female artists navigating the music industry. Allegedly, this candidness did not sit well with the network, and her appearances began to dwindle.
With being an independent artist, you have the freedom to create as many projects as you want. You can surprise your fans without clearance from anyone.
By the early 2000s, fans noticed her absence on the show, even during key album releases and promotional periods. Some sources claim she was effectively blacklisted, although BET never officially confirmed this. Observers note that her limited exposure on such a prominent platform may have affected her reach to mainstream audiences at a critical moment in her career. Even years later, discussions around Mia and 106 and Park reflect the complex dynamics between artists and the networks that showcase them. Her situation highlights the broader issue of industry politics, where talent alone doesn't always guarantee access to major media platforms. For fans and music historians, her alleged ban remains a striking example of how behind-the-scenes tensions can influence a rising star's career trajectory. Being banned or sidelined from a high-profile platform like 106 and Park could have serious effects on an artist's career. During its peak, the show was more than just a countdown of music videos. It was a major promotional hub where artists connected directly with fans, premiered new singles, and performed live. Exclusion from such a platform often meant reduced exposure, fewer opportunities for interviews or live performances, and less influence over mainstream audiences. For Mia, her alleged ban coincided with a crucial period of change. After parting ways with her major label, she pursued an independent path in the music industry. While this gave her more creative freedom, some reports and fan commentary suggest that BET executives viewed her independent releases as less marketable, limiting her appearances on the show. At a time when 106 and Park could make or break a single, this reduced visibility likely affected her ability to maintain mainstream momentum. Other artists faced similar struggles. Keisha Cole, K. Michelle, Tamar Braxton, and Tiara Mari, Joey Badass, among others, reportedly experienced periods of exclusion.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah?
You know why?
Why?
Because that was the day I got banned from BET.
Without the network's support, their singles sometimes struggled to chart, and promotional campaigns lacked the same impact as those of peers who appeared regularly on the show. Album sales could stall, sponsorships or endorsements might be harder to secure, and fan engagement could decline. In an era before streaming dominated, television exposure was critical to maintaining relevance in the music industry. These cases reveal a larger truth about the power dynamics in entertainment. Talent and fan support were not always enough. Artists often needed the backing of major media platforms to sustain commercial success. A single exclusion, whether due to personal conflicts, outspoken behavior, or industry politics, could ripple through an artist's career, affecting not just their immediate releases, but their long-term trajectory. Ultimately, the stories of Mia and others underscore how control over access to visibility played a pivotal role in shaping which artists thrived and which faced setbacks during the 2000s R&B and hip-hop landscape. Mia's alleged ban from 106 and Park was not an isolated case. Over the years, several R&B and hip-hop artists reportedly faced similar challenges, highlighting the delicate power dynamics within the music industry. While exact reasons and confirmations are often unclear, these instances reveal how an artist's independence or outspoken nature could affect their access to key platforms. Keisha Cole rose quickly with her raw, emotional music and authentic voice. Her public disputes with fellow artists and candid interviews reportedly caused friction with industry figures. Fans noticed her absence from the show during critical career moments, fueling speculation that she may have been blacklisted for challenging certain industry norms. K. Michelle, known for her unfiltered approach and willingness to address personal and professional issues openly, also experienced tensions with the network. Her critiques of how female artists were treated in the industry allegedly led to her being sidelined on 106 and Park, raising questions about the consequences for artists who refuse to conform. Tamar Braxton, with her powerhouse vocals and bold personality, reportedly clashed with BET executives and show hosts. Despite her talent, her exclusion from key show appearances during pivotal periods suggests that public disputes and strong opinions could impact an artist's visibility. Webby was banned from 106 and Park in 2011 after making inappropriate comments toward Roxy Diaz during a live broadcast. Joey Badass faced a ban following his controversial 2014 BET Awards performance, where his lyrics were seen as too politically charged for the network.
Fam, young savage, Baton Rouge down in D-Town, taking over the world. You can't ban the truth.
Tiara Mari gained attention with provocative music and visuals, particularly her sponsor video, which explored female empowerment and financial independence. Allegedly, the content did not sit well with BT executives, limiting her exposure on the channel and demonstrating how creative expression could sometimes be censored. Mary combined R&B and pop in a way that attracted a loyal fan base. However, her refusal to conform to beauty standards and outspoken comments about the industry reportedly led to her being blackballed, limiting her appearances during crucial career periods. Carrie Hilson built a name as both a talented singer and songwriter. Rumored conflicts with BET insiders and her unwillingness to play the game reportedly caused her music to be sidelined, showing how industry politics could influence career momentum. Monica, celebrated for her powerful voice and consistent output, is another example. Speculation suggests that her insistence on controlling her public image and resisting certain programming agendas contributed to her absence from the show during major promotional cycles. Even posthumously, Aaliyah was affected by complex industry politics. While she passed away tragically in 2001, some observers note that BET limited her posthumous exposure due to rights issues and internal decisions, sparking conspiracy theories about a silent ban. These cases collectively illustrate the challenges artists face in an industry where visibility is not always determined by talent or fan support. For rising and established artists alike, navigating these unseen rules could determine whether a career flourished or stalled. The alleged bans from 106 and Park shed light on deeper issues within the music industry, particularly regarding how women and artists of color are treated. Platforms like 106 and Park were not just entertainment, they were gatekeepers of visibility and influence. Being granted access could catapult an artist's career, while exclusion could stall momentum, regardless of talent or fan support.
However, being an independent label, you have to fund 100% of everything. So either you have an investor or you generate that income somehow. And when you're trying to survive as an artist, or if you're established, then maybe people will work with you off of the strength that they believe in you, and you guys can work out business.
For many artists, including Mia, Keishia Cole, K. Michelle, and Tamar Braxton, speaking out against industry norms or openly critiquing network practices reportedly led to tension with executives. Their exclusion from the show can be interpreted as a form of professional marginalization or retaliation, sending a message to others that challenging the status quo might come at a cost. Fans often notice these absences, fueling speculation and highlighting the unspoken rules that governed visibility in mainstream media. The lack of transparency around these decisions made the situation even more difficult. Artists were rarely given official explanations for their limited appearances or removal from rotation. Without clear communication, they had to navigate an industry where access to promotion, radio play, and televised exposure could be controlled by a few decision-makers behind closed doors. This created a system in which talent alone was insufficient for success. Relationships, conformity, and diplomacy often played equally important roles. These dynamics reveal a broader pattern in entertainment. Artists who maintain autonomy, speak out against unfair practices, or resist conventional expectations frequently face barriers to exposure. Such practices can suppress diverse voices, limit creative freedom, and shape public perception in ways that benefit the gatekeepers more than the artists themselves. Ultimately, the experiences of Mia and other artists underscore the need for greater accountability and fairness in the industry. Ensuring that all artists, regardless of gender, race, or personality, have equal opportunities to share their work based on talent and dedication is essential. The conversation sparked by these alleged bans continues to resonate, highlighting the ongoing struggle for equitable treatment and creative freedom in music and entertainment. Before the controversy with BET's 106 and Park, Mia's career was on a steady and promising upward trajectory. Born Mia Marie Harrison on October 10, 1979, in Washington, D.C., she began training in dance, acting, and vocal performance at a very young age. By the time she entered her teenage years, she had already honed a level of discipline and skill that set her apart from many emerging artists. She trained at the Academy of the Arts in Maryland, taking classes in jazz, ballet, and tap dance, while simultaneously developing her singing technique, which would become one of her signature strengths. Her official entry into the music industry came when she signed with Interscope Records in the late 1990s, and her debut album, Mia, 1998, quickly went platinum, earning her both commercial success and critical recognition. The album featured hits like Movin' On and My First Night With You, which highlighted her smooth vocal delivery and emotional range. Mia was more than just a collection of songs. It introduced her as a multi-talented performer, blending R&B with pop sensibilities and dance-ready tracks that appealed to a wide audience.
Go on vacation this week. We'll find out if I find anybody whose love is like well.
In 2000, she released her second album, Fear of Flying, which solidified her status in the R&B scene. Tracks like Case of the X and Best of Me became instant hits, dominating radio airplay and music video rotations. Case of the X, in particular, showcased her versatility, combining catchy hooks with dynamic dance choreography, further distinguishing her as both a singer and performer. Collaborations during this period with artists like Cisco, Jay-Z, and Pink expanded her reach, exposing her to broader audiences across hip-hop and pop markets. A key element of her rise was television exposure, particularly on BET's 106 and Park. The show functioned as a cultural hub for urban music, providing artists with opportunities to perform live, premiere new music videos, and connect directly with fans through interviews and interactive segments. Mia's early appearances allowed her to demonstrate not only her vocal talent, but also her stage presence, charisma, and polished dance skills, which helped her build a loyal fan base. Being featured on the show could immediately propel a song onto the charts, and her consistent rotation made her a recognizable figure in households across the country. Her early visibility on 106 and Park positioned her as a serious contender in the competitive landscape of R&B, where breakout success often depended on both talent and media exposure. For fans and music historians, her eventual absence from the show emphasizes how critical access to these platforms was. It highlights that even with talent, discipline, and early success, an artist's momentum could be influenced by the industry's gatekeepers, making her alleged ban all the more significant. By the time the alleged tensions with BT arose, Mia had already proven she was capable of carrying her career independently, both through her artistry and her public persona. Her early trajectory demonstrates a combination of skill, hard work, and strategic collaborations, establishing her as a formidable presence in the late 1990s and early 2000s R&B scene, a presence that many fans felt was suddenly interrupted by her absence from key platforms. Mia's absence from pivotal 106 and Park episodes occurred during some of the most crucial periods of her career. At the time, the show was one of the most influential platforms for R&B and hip-hop artists, offering opportunities for live performances, exclusive interviews, and music video premieres. For a rising star like Mia, appearances on the program could have amplified the reach of her singles and albums, introducing her music to millions of viewers nationwide. Her hit singles, such as Case of the X from Fear of Flying, 2000, and Best of Me, were perfectly suited for televised performances. Case of the X, in particular, was a dance-heavy track with catchy hooks and choreographed moves, which would have translated well to live performances on 106 and Park. These appearances could have not only strengthened her connection with fans, but also boosted chart performance, radio play, and overall visibility during a highly competitive era in R&B music. Mia also missed opportunities for interviews and personal features on the show. 106 and Park often allowed artists to share behind-the-scenes insights, discuss their creative process, and connect personally with fans. These segments were essential for building a loyal audience, as they gave fans a deeper understanding of the artist beyond the music. Mia's absence meant that she could not fully leverage this direct engagement with her audience, which was especially valuable before the rise of social media. Comparisons to contemporaries illustrate the impact of missing the show. Artists like Beyoncé, Alicia Keys, and Aaliyah were regular fixtures on 106 and Park, performing live, participating in interviews, and premiering music videos. Their consistent visibility on television reinforced their mainstream presence, keeping them top of mind with fans and industry professionals. In contrast, Mia's limited appearances meant that her singles, even when successful, may not have received the same level of exposure, potentially slowing the growth of her fan base and her mainstream momentum. Additionally, award show tie-ins and special events often coincided with 106 and Park appearances. For example, the BET Awards and other promotional cycles frequently featured artists performing or promoting new singles on the show. Missing these opportunities could have influenced nominations, collaborations, and media coverage, all of which were critical for sustaining a high-profile career in the early 2000s. Even though Mia continued touring, releasing music, and collaborating with other artists, the absence from such a widely viewed platform likely had long-term implications. In an era when televised exposure could make or break a career, missing multiple key appearances arguably slowed her trajectory in comparison to peers who maintained consistent visibility. For fans, it was a noticeable gap in her presence on screens and in public consciousness, while for the industry, it reflected the complex power dynamics that controlled access to high-profile platforms. Mia's story in this context highlights how television visibility was not merely promotional. It was a currency that directly influenced an artist's success. The songs she released during this period were popular, but the lack of strategic television exposure may have limited her ability to fully capitalize on their potential. These missed moments, combined with behind-the-scenes politics, underscore the significance of gatekeepers like 106 and Park in shaping the careers of even the most talented and hard-working artists. Fans quickly noticed Mia's reduced presence on 106 and Park and speculated about the reasons. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, fan forums, message boards, and R&B communities online discussed her absence, debating whether she had been blacklisted, sidelined due to industry politics, or simply missed for scheduling reasons. These conversations highlighted how audiences were becoming aware of how media exposure influenced an artist's career. Journalists and music commentators noted the gap between Mia's chart success and limited visibility on the show. Her singles performed well on radio and sales charts, but did not receive equal airtime or live performance opportunities, raising questions about network decision-making and behind-the-scenes politics. As social media emerged in the mid-2000s, discussions intensified. Platforms like MySpace, early Facebook groups, and fan blogs allowed audiences to share theories, post updates, and organize support for artists who seemed marginalized. Fans debated potential conflicts with BET executives, speculated about her independent career path, and voiced frustration that talent alone could not guarantee visibility. These conversations also highlighted broader industry issues, including the treatment of female artists, artists of color, and independent musicians. Mia's absence became a reflection of systemic challenges, where gatekeepers controlled access to high-profile platforms. Fans played a crucial role in keeping attention on the issue, sharing music clips, organizing listening events, and promoting her work online. This grassroots support maintained her relevance and amplified discussions about fairness, transparency, and artist treatment. Ultimately, fan and media reactions underscored Mia's impact and the loyalty she inspired. Even facing exclusion from mainstream platforms, her fan base reinforced her status in R&B and pop, highlighting the complex interplay between talent, media exposure, and audience support. While Mia continued to release music, tour, and collaborate, the missed opportunities on 106 and Park arguably slowed her mainstream trajectory. Comparisons to peers who consistently appeared on the show illustrate the lasting influence of televised exposure on career development. Today, Mia's story reflects resilience and adaptability. She continues performing, recording, and maintaining a dedicated fan base.
Ready? Look at this way, please.
Her experience, along with other artists affected by alleged bans, serves as a case study in how gatekeeping, industry politics, and creative independence intersected in shaping R&B and hip-hop careers. The narrative of Mia and others offers lessons for today's music industry. Platforms, whether TV, radio, or streaming, still hold power over visibility, but digital tools now allow artists more direct access to fans. Transparency, fairness, and support for creative independence remain crucial. Mia's story reminds us that gatekeepers have historically influenced careers, and equitable access remains critical to fostering diverse and empowered voices in music. Supporting artists based on talent and work ethic, rather than conformity, can prevent the marginalization of creative voices.
Have access to, you will be blackballed, you will be talked about, you will be on, you will be rumored about.
The experiences of Mia and other artists who allegedly faced bans from BET's 106 and Park shed light on the complexities of the entertainment industry. While the specifics of these bans remain unconfirmed, the patterns suggest that visibility and success can be influenced by factors beyond an artist's control. As the industry continues to evolve, it is crucial to advocate for transparency, fairness, and equal opportunities for all artists. By doing so, we can ensure that talent and hard work remain the primary determinants of success rather than external influences and power dynamics.